Hello, welcome to another prediction video. My name is Ahmed, one of the PT and IELTS instructor at Edify group of companies. After the previous two successful prediction videos, I thought I should make another one for the 28th January test. Now, a lot of you might be appearing in 28th January test, so you might need these guesses to prepare for. I want to start with listening first this time because I think what makes listening difficult are the fill in the blanks. And you will see a lot of fill in the blanks in the last section because the last section is obviously relatively difficult. And why it becomes difficult? Because it has so many fill in the blanks to solve. That is why your focus for the 28th January test should be on those fill in the blanks. The more you will do it, the better you will become on it, because it's naturally difficult that you are listening at the same time and also fill in the blanks writing at the same time. So it is practically difficult. You might want to practice it a lot before your actual test. Another thing that you should focus on are the multiple choice question, and we also see them often in the test, but for this particular test you must know how to solve multiple choice questions. And as I also mentioned previously, that in multiple choice question the speaker will talk about all three options or the four options which are available, and your job is to find out which is the distractor and which is the correct option. So you might want to go for the correct one, and that becomes really difficult. So these are the two guesses that I have for 28th January test that you must consider for your final exam. If we talk about reading though, reading, as you know, it's normally people perceive it's as if it's very difficult, and again I've mentioned that is not the case. It becomes difficult because we get exhausted by the time we are on the last passage. So what you can do is, first thing that's a strategy that I want to give you. First, just go through the test sections and all the three passages and see which passage has less difficult question types. What are less difficult question types? One of them is fill in the blanks, and another easy question type is true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given. Now, these are very common question types, and every test has these question types like true, false, not given, and fill in the blanks. So if you will solve them first, your test will become easy. And if a passage has only these two type of questions, you must tackle that passage in the first section of the test, right? And later on you can move towards the difficult question. So first thing that you must prepare are the fill in the blanks. Secondly, true, false, not given, yes, no, not given. And also be very careful while you are transferring your answers on the answer sheet. If they have asked about the yes, no, not given and you write true, false, not given, that would be considered wrong. So be very careful there. One difficult question type that I want you to prepare is list of heading. Once again, I mentioned it previously as well, but this time I'm also emphasizing on it. It's a common question type, and a majority of students do it wrong because either they lack strategy or they don't know how to tackle it. One thing that you must consider while solving list of the headings is that you have to select the heading which gives the overall meaning of the paragraph. If there is one specific information is given there, that won't be the correct option, right? So in this case, do not fall for the keywords as you do in the previous question types. In this, you might want to go for the overall meaning of the passage, and that would come only if you read the passage very carefully. So leave these question type for the end or the later part of your test. So before you have done all the question types which are easy, you now started to understand the test, and in the end you can tackle the difficult question type. Let's talk about writing. So writing has two sections, obviously writing task 1 and the writing task 2. For the task 1, this time pay a lot of attention on the mixed charts. Now, what are mixed charts? In these kind of charts, we have two kind of graphs, or two kind of charts, or two kind of pie charts you see on that. And in that mixed chart, you need to compare both of them. For example, if they are given a comparison of sort, let's say they are giving a comparison of technology and how it has evolved and the kind of gadgets people used these days compared to the what people were using almost 10 or 15 years back. So these kind of comparison are very easy to tackle because you have a lot of data that you can cover. So mixed chart is something that you must read about, you must practice on, and you must try to write on that. And then you will move on towards your second part. The second part, for this second part, you must focus on something very controversial, like especially in the education sector, There could be many different kind of controversial topics, like how should teachers be compensated for their teaching abilities. Either they should be compensated based on the hours they invest in. So it's more like it's related to the education, but it's more on the teaching side and how the teaching affects the students, or maybe some things like that. So these are the things that you must focus on for your writing. Lastly, we will talk about speaking. And in speaking, there's a second part of the speaking which is called Q card, and it is one of the major portion of the speaking test. For Q card, I want to give you two topics that you must prepare. One of them is obviously about you should read about the noisy places. I mean, the question could be talk about the time when you were around some noisy place, or how would you react if you are around the noisy place, and how commonly you visit such places, etc. It could be anything related to that. And other thing that you must know about the Q card is that you might get a topic related to your education background. What have you studied so far? What do you want to study in the future? And does both of these relate to each other or not? So maybe what are your ambitions in the future compared to the education, or compared to your in the terms of your studies. So these are some major things that you must cover. Now, if you are not sure about any of the what I've mentioned previously, that how to deal with it, you can seek help from the ton of the resources that are available. You can also reach out to us. We have a very qualified staff which helps students prepare for IELTS and PTE. I wish you good luck for your 28th January test. Thank you so much for watching.